Hi, and welcome back to Jody Drawn Out. Well, we're changing things up today with a family project that we can find things that we already have. Welcome to my studio. I'm the only one here right now under the circumstances, but we need another table to get started. I can't believe I have this whole place to myself. I didn't ask for it, but I'm going to take advantage of it. All right, we're going to grab one of these tables. All right, well, I just increased my space there. Since I'm the only one here anyway, I may as well utilize the area. So I found this pot downstairs in the yard, and I have some Sculpey clay, and so we're just gonna make a project with the things we can find that are available to us. There's my little oven, so that's preheating. And I got a chair with wheels, so all I gotta do is turn around, and I have another workstation now. Let's make some bunnies. I'm gonna make a ball, and then I'm gonna kind of concentrate on one edge of it to keep one side more round than the other, okay? So make a ball, and then on one side you just sort of roll it so it's more like an egg, okay? Then we're gonna make a little tiny ball. Nice big tail. And two small balls that are the same size. So, like that. And then we're just gonna kind of flatten those and put them on the bottom of his butt. Okay, we're gonna make a ball. And another ball. We're going to give them two little paws. I'm just going to put them on like, so when we put him in there, he has a way to hold on, okay? So you're just going to make a ball and kind of flatten it out and bring one side to more of a point than the other. And he can have floppy ears, that's okay. Same thing, press it out. One side comes to more of a point. Leave the other side out a little bit more floppy. We're just going to press it to the side of his head and fold it over. Just like that. That's it. And he'll fit right in there, and his little arms are going to hold him on in place. We're going to pop these guys in the oven. I think we'll put a butt hanging out over here. I think that'll be cute. Look at him, he looks like a blob. He doesn't look like anything. And he's going to be perfect. Okay, now we're making the carrots. So again, I'm just taking a round ball of clay, and when you roll it out between your palms, just concentrate on one side more than the other side, so that one comes down to a point and the other one stays fatter. And then I just crinkled up my tin foil and opened it back up. And then I just kind of rolled my carrot on the tin foil, just to give it a little bit of texture so that it looks more like a carrot and not just a cone of clay. So these are like the length of my finger plus another half. And this one is the length of my finger. I have a piece of wire. You could use a piece of coat hanger, or you could probably even use, you know, like a tool with a pointy tip on it, a skewer, a shish kebab skewer. I'm just going to put a hole in the back of each of these. Okay, we're back, and I painted the pot with some paint that I had left over from my bedroom. So just a really quick sloppy coat on there, and it's dry. And I was just checking my rabbits to see how they fit in the holes. And you can see they're pretty funky looking, but remember, it's just a blob. This head makes no sense. It's just a counterweight. And then the 2 feet and a tail. He fits in here nicely. So you can see where we're going with this. And this little guy, he fits in this hole here. So they're funky. They are not perfect, and I'm okay with that. This I'm going to glue on down here. So I decided to make a door, and I just took a pencil and put some like wood lines in there. They'll show up more when I paint it. And I'm going to glue that right here. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to stencil the pot. This guy, his ears fell over in the oven, and I think he's totally cute. So I'm going to leave him like that. And I like it. Okay, so here's the stencil, and so I laid the pot on its side because it's a lot easier to stencil gravity fighting against me. This way I can just lay it randomly. Now, I was going to do green, but I'm going to put some greenery in there, and the rabbits are going to be white, so I think that it'll have a nice pop. And if I don't like it, I can just go right back over with the original color paint that I had, so no big deal. So I took a makeup sponge as my applicator, and you're just going to dip it into the paint and then offload it. We call it offloading, so that we get a nice even amount of paint on the makeup sponge. So the thing you don't want to do is have too much paint on there, because it'll bleed underneath the stencil and be more messy. But on here, we don't really care, because we're going to be adding other things to it. And we just want it to have flowers on it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's an old pot. So I'm just going to hold this down. So now I'm going to show you a little trick. And so I'm going to take this chip brush. So hi Sage, hi Jade. I hope you're doing this project with me. And I'm just going to tip it in my bucket of paint. I don't need a lot of it. And then I'm just going to touch here and there. So now you see if you make any mistakes and you think it's too strong, or there's a big area that you made a big mistake on, you go back with the original color and you pounce it out. Okay, so we're going to let that dry for a few minutes. Okay, so now I'm just re-stenciling as I did before, because I want it to be a busy, busy pattern. So. Okay, so you want to make sure your stencil is really clean after you're finished using it. It'll last you for years. The best way that I have found to clean them is on a flat surface, and simple green works really, really well. Let it soak for a few minutes and then use like a little nail brush very gently, because you don't want to bend any of the little delicate areas on here, because it'll ruin that section and you can't bend it back. It just doesn't work that way. So I've had this stencil for years, and just make sure you clean them really well when you're finished with them, and they'll last you forever, and you'll be able to do lots and lots of projects with them. Okay, So we stenciled, then we pounced a little bit with the original color, and then we re-stenciled, and that just gives it just more interest. So I want to bring the color up a little bit more, and this is just me with my furniture refinishing. I will play with something until I absolutely love it. So I want to intensify the color a little bit, but marry the background with the forward a little bit more. So I'm going to make a glaze with some faux color magenta. I'm using Valspar glaze, and it works with any acrylic. So if you have a bright color, but you want to make it more translucent, that's what a glaze is for. So we're going to be, eventually I'm going to be doing more faux finishing on some of my videos, because that's what I did for like 20 years. So, and it's becoming popular again. So I'm going to put a little glaze and a little bit of magenta. So this is a really bright color. And this should be about dry. And I'm just going to go over, because the glaze allows you to see through the color. It makes it more translucent. Yeah, now our white rabbits are really gonna pop on this new color. I like it. Our mission continues. We're going outside on the grounds of the cigar factory because we're under quarantine. So we need to find some natural beauty to enhance our Easter project. So, and over there is where I found the strawberry pot. Let's keep looking. There's a big field over here. We're gonna go check that out. So we're walking the grounds of the cigar factory. There's the building. Because we have to be creative and use our imagination for this project, because we're basically under quarantine. I know I'm trying to practice not going out anywhere. We're looking for some natural beauty to put in our... Ooh, I didn't expect to see that guy sitting there. I have already put some Spanish moss in the oven. Oh, look at that. I think we just scored big time. Look at this wisteria. All by itself. Okay. Wow. So we're going to be grabbing some of this, but I got to tune out so I can get my scissors. It's really pretty out today. Listen to all the birds. Sometimes the worst things can make you find the best things. We have to be crafty. We have to be creative, because we can't go out of the house right now. There's where I got the Spanish moss from. I put that in the oven, and I'm going to kill any mites or bugs. I really like this bright green. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this. Well, here's my score. I found wisteria and some red berries and some azaleas, and we got some really pretty greenery here for shrubs, and then the Spanish moss, which I put in the oven for maybe a half hour at 225 degrees. Okay, we're gonna do a quick recap of the bunny butts and heads, and you can see they're pretty funky looking, but that's part of the character and the fun of this. So they don't have to be beautiful, they just have to be fun. We still have to put their eyes and paint their nose, and then we're gonna paint their little paws pads, their little foot pads. So they're not quite done yet, but I'm just gonna do a really quick recap of how to make them. used Sculpey clay because that's what I had. And since we're basically under quarantine right now with the coronavirus, I'm really not going to the store. And that's what this whole project was about, just kind of finding things that were already accessible for this project. So Sculpey clay, this one is white, obviously. It also comes in a terracotta color. I like the white because you can paint the terracotta color too, but the white, a lot of times I have to paint the terracotta color white so that I can get the vibrancy of the color that I want when I paint it. So when you're painting a bright color over a dark color, it's more difficult. Anyway, it takes acrylic paint very, very well. So anyway, we're gonna take a ball of clay. Now, if this was self-drying clay, I would just leave these out until tomorrow, and then when it was dry, then I could paint them. But these I baked in the oven for on 275, and Sculpey clay, every 1/4 inch you bake for about 15 minutes. So I baked these for about an hour because they're quite thick. Okay, and pop them in the oven. You can use the back of the paintbrush to mark the eyes, but I would do it with a pencil first before you put the black eyes on.
Follow White Rabbit. I'm taking potions, call me Alice.
Well, that about wraps up our little Easter project. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I feel pretty fortunate that I can walk to my studio from home and do these great projects and share them with you. I'll see you here on Tuesday for watercolor pencils in my new coloring book. Be safe and please subscribe. I really appreciate it.